Alrighty, BBS community, we're going to do top nine. Well, I guess you're just gonna be ranking all the debuffs in the game because I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a video for today, but I didn't want to not upload anything, right? So we're just gonna do this, and I'm going to rank the debuffs in my opinion. In my opinion, in order. Maybe the judge might be accurate too. I know some people like stuff other over stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I already kind of have an idea of what it is like in placements, but we'll see. I'll give you guys my reasons. Maybe they're valid, maybe they're not, but we'll look. And we also have our trusty website to help us out. Just if we need characters that have these. So do we start from 9 and go to 1? Or 1 down to 9? I feel like it's easier if I go from 9 up to, or 1 down to 9, but I don't want to. All right, we'll just go from 9 up to 1. So I think the worst debuff in the game is actually Confuse. Now a lot of people are probably confused on why I think Confuse is the worst debuff in the game, and that's because it doesn't do anything, right? When you confuse an enemy, it makes it that enemies can hit other enemies, but it's not like if confuse work like this. When I confuse an enemy, they completely turned around and attacked each other like how it's supposed to be, then sure, it would be broken. But how it works is just that they still come for you, but if let's say I confuse an enemy behind another enemy, right? Oh, I got a sub. Thank you, Pope Servant. But let's say, for example, I confuse somebody behind, or I confuse an enemy behind another enemy, right? If that enemy that's confused behind the one enemy, obviously that enemy will take damage, right? That's how it works. It doesn't work like if I confuse them, they just turn around and they just join my team and help me fight everybody else. No, I wish it worked like that, but no, it doesn't work like that, right? So right there, I think Confuse is easily the worst one in the game. It's just not useful. Not many people have it, but obviously Shinji, because it's literally his whole kit. His whole character is meant to, confuse people. 8, I probably put Slow. It's between Slow and Poison for me. Right, I probably put Slow. Slow is actually a lot better. Technically, like now, I guess with Arena. Because let's say I have a character that slows, like who slows? Hollybell, right? The Arena Hollybell slows, right? Hollybell, yeah, I think she slows. Yeah, so let's say I'm in Arena, right, and somebody is attacking me, right, as they're fighting my bot. If I slow them, they can't do anything, right? They can't use anything. They're moving super slow. Nothing works for them, basically. So it is pretty good in Arena. In just general, like PvE, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it helps you, sure, if you want to slow down the enemies, but I don't know, it doesn't really do anything to like enemies, like NPC monster enemies. But in Arena and even PvP, maybe it doesn't really work in PvP because you're not gonna slow anybody in PvP. But in Arena, it does come in handy. It actually is pretty cracked, so I would say slow. Just because of that, I'll put it in 8. In 7th, I will put Lacerate. I think Lacerate. Yeah, I'll put Lacerate because Lacerate does the same thing as Burn and Poison. I just believe Lacerate does less, right? Like it does less damage than what Poison and Burn would do. I think, like, if I had to give a number, Burn and Poison do like 60k per tick, and then Lacerate does 40k per tick. So I think it just does 20k less damage. Right? And that's literally it, right? It doesn't really do any. Lacerate does stop them from having debuffs, I think. No. It's been so long since I've been lacerated, but I do know it does damage over time, right? Right, it does damage over time. For 5 and 6, it honestly doesn't matter for me, in terms of the placement, but I'll do it like this. Burn and Poison. It's just same thing as Lacerate. It does damage over time. That's why it doesn't really matter which one goes where, because it's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. But I put Burn higher only because Burn is more common than Poison, right? There's a lot more characters with Burn, I believe, than with Poison. So I'll put Burn at 5. But yeah, both of them do the same thing. It's just one is Poison and one is Burn. Right? So here we go. Top 4. I think it kind of doesn't matter for these two as well, freeze and paralyze, right? Unless I do more damage to freeze enemies, which you don't unless you have that skill. It doesn't really matter, right? Both of them just like stop you, which I think is better than damage over time. Because even though you're doing more damage with burn and poison, I think freeze and paralyze is just better because they still can't attack you, right? For example, let's say I'm in the Silopro epic raid, right? Not epic raid, Silopro just raid, and the whole floor is poison, right? Rather than me just burning the enemies, right, they could still attack me, and then that's on the stage like that, I'm guaranteed gonna have only 1 HP, right? Unless I have somebody that constantly heals me, but most of the time I'm just gonna have 1 HP, right? Because it's the full floor is full of poison. But I think freezing and paralyzing them where they can't even attack you is just better, right? Because those stages are easy too, so it's not like they're difficult or they're beefy or anything, right? I just prefer freeze and poison over burn and lacerate, or burn, poison, and lacerate, I guess, right? Second best, I'm gonna give it to weaken. People could say weaken is 1. It's really up to you, but I don't think I like weaken more than drain. Weaken is pretty broken though. It makes it that enemies can only do 1 damage to you, and it like lowers their defense. Makes it that they can't like debuff you in any way or anything like that. It's pretty broken actually. But the thing about weaken is I don't know if weaken does that last part I just said. I'm not sure. But the thing about weaken is it still has the flaws. Again, we can go back to the Silopero stage. If I have 1 HP, right, weaken doesn't matter if I weaken enemies, right? There's still, if they hit me, I still die because they can hit 1. And on a stage like that, and it's not only that one stage, there's multiple stages like that. I'm just using that stage as an example. But on a stage like that, if I get hit regardless, with them being weakened or not, I will die because I have 1 HP, right? And then drain is obviously the best. There's no question. Drain is like, it's lifesteal, right? You drain them, you take a huge amount of their HP, you heal it up, and you actually do lock their debuffs. I know that for a fact. Right, drain, you lock their debuffs. The enemies don't really have debuffs, but in general, right? PvP, arena, epic raids, wherever you want to go, right? You drain them and you lock up their debuffs. So I think drain is the best in the game for debuffs. It was right after it's weaken. Like again, I said you could switch these two, but drain is just more useful to me because if I'm in like a debuffing area, like IT, perfect example, it's always debuffs over there, right? If I'm in a debuffing area and I lose HP, I could always just use, or not use it, but I can always proc drain and heal it back up, and they lose, you know, damage too, like a big chunk. It's actually pretty cracked. So yeah, I think the best combination obviously in this game would be drain and weaken. It's right there, right? If you guys are wondering where it's lacerate, I didn't put lacerate only because lacerate, it does not lacerate, insta kill, right? Insta kill, it's only on ultimates, and it's like, it's just no, it's only on ultimates, bro. Unless I'm thinking for the anniversary, what's gonna happen is they're gonna make lacerate work on everything. Drain and lacerate on whoever comes out. Watch it be that, or it's gonna be drain, lacerate. No, I keep saying lacerate. Insta kill, drain, and weaken on the character. Watch it be that. But yeah, I think these are the top 9. I think these are the rankings for debuffs. Obviously, any character with drain is obviously like good, right? They don't give drain to just anybody. I'm like almost 1000% positive that anybody who has drain is cracked. You're good for arena, good and good. Yeah, so anybody who has drain is good, right? And there are people that, like, I can't say everybody with weaken is good, right? Because there's some kind of like, there are some shitters with weaken, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was a shitter with weaken. Let's see. This Bargon's pretty yikes, right? Bargon's pretty yikes. Like Macho, Aura's horrible. Jesus. Right, there are some shitters with Luffy. There are some shitters with weaken, but there's no. If you have drain, you're a good character. That's, just know that if the character has drain, they're a god tier character. So these are the rankings for debuffs. You let me know what you think, and if you agree. I'll see you guys next time. Out. Peace.